Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 99 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to provide many different twists and turns, as well as revelations of the Skywalker saga. That's not only going to change our review of some of the past 8 Star Wars movies, but as well as some of the fan-favorite characters like Luke, Han, Leia, Lando, Chewbacca, you name it. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Luke Skywalker and Rey are sitting in front of each other inside of the Prime Jedi Temple, where it said that Luke is teaching Rey a couple of lessons about the ways of the Force and the Jedi. It's explained that Luke eventually begins to tell Rey small tales of his past life, where he is said to unveil a big secret related to Han Solo, where it's described that Luke explains to Rey that after delivering the news to Han about Ben's turn to the dark side, it's explained that Han Solo went on a mission with a death wish to Snoke's supremacy in the Outer Rim when it was under construction, with a crew that backed him up. Luke says that at one point in time, Han was desperate to save his son when he couldn't reach Luke after exiling himself to Ahch-To and closing himself off from the Force. Additionally, it's explained that this led to the separation between Han and Leia and why they are not together in Episode 7. It's also described that Luke explains that when delivering the news about Ben to Han Solo, Han was very disappointed in Luke, not necessarily mad about it, but disappointed in his failure to save his son. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, I believe that this alludes to what Luke Skywalker told Rey in The Last Jedi when he was talking about Ben Solo's training, where he says Han was Han about it. And that basically tells us right then and there that Han wasn't really all too much for the idea of Ben Solo receiving Jedi training. If anything, Han may have thought it would have made things worse. Now, with that being said, when we look at Episode 9 as a film, this movie's really going to fill in certain gaps in between the originals and the sequels. We're talking about a 30-plus year time jump in between Episode 6 and 7. That's a lot of material that's only going to be loosely touched on in Episode 9 here and there, either in the forms of references, flashbacks, visions, you name it. So, I want to go over this particular scene where Luke's Force Ghost is said to be talking to Rey about the ways of the Jedi and the Force, as well as telling a tale of his past, telling Rey certain secrets about Han Solo, that after Ben Solo's turn to the dark side and after Luke delivered this news to Han, is that eventually Han went on a death wish. He went on a mission with a death wish to Snoke's supremacy in the Outer Rim before Snoke hid it over in the Unknown Regions. In fact, this was the main reason as to why Snoke hid it over in the Unknown Regions was, of course, after Han Solo attacked the actual supremacy ship that, of course, Kylo Ren was on board of. Now, what I find to be so intriguing about this is that you guys may recall that the Knights of Ren are the group, alright, that actually initiated the dark side within Kylo Ren. They are the ones who recruited Kylo to the dark side of the Force before Snoke made the final push. And I think that's a very interesting side of the story because that tells us right then and there that Luke Skywalker's students that Ben took away are not the Knights of Ren. What happened to, of course, Luke Skywalker's other Jedi students? Will that be explained? That's a big, question open on the table for discussion right now. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is that this led to the separation between both Han and Leia. So you can really see how JJ is, of course, answering a lot of questions in Episode 9 that were not answered in The Last Jedi, that were created in Episode 7, right? A lot of fans were always wondering what happened between both Han and Leia, why are they not together, what's the exact answer, beat for beat. And that tells us right then and there is that not only was it because of Ben Solo's turn to the dark side, but it was also because of Han Solo's behavior of what he was doing and really risking his life in the process, and that it was really interrupting with Leia's political stuff, right? Her politics. And that's a very interesting side of the story. I actually find that to be very interesting of how they're explaining this. And this is actually going to be more explained in the official The Rise of Skywalker novelization, which, by the way, guys, once that drops, we will be getting additional scenes. Of course, not on the big screen, but additional scenes that will be expanded in that book that is either, I believe, set to appear either before or after the release of Episode 9. So with that being said, this particular moment is not only said to teach Rey about the lessons of failure and rising up from failure, but it's also telling her exactly, what happened to the Solo family and what happened to Luke himself. So, anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.